But one thing I do not appreciate is all these insane trade ideas that people keep coming up with for my Detroit Pistons. And I'm seeing a lot of teams, they're proposing that we go try and get Devin Booker and we go try and get Zion Williamson and we go try and get this big name guy from this place who's not really thriving. And that's cool. I appreciate that a lot of people want to be involved in the Detroit Pistons offseason. But these trade ideas y'all proposing are just honestly ridiculous, man. I mean, Devin Booker for 4 first-round picks, Ron Holland, and Asar Thompson. Like, come on, bro. Who's doing that? And in what right mind is anybody giving away this young talent? Like, that's not even fully developed yet. Like, it's insane to me that people are proposing these ideas. And it makes me even more upset that people are standing behind these trade ideas that are ridiculous as hell. So that drives me insane, first and foremost. The second thing I want to say, man, in terms of the Pistons offseason, they don't need to try and go get Zion Williamson. They don't need to try and go get Giannis or Devin Booker, none of that. Right now, they need to just sit on ice because they got a lot of young talent in the room and on this team that are very nice. And I mean, they're developing. Who would trade all of this talent and the young pieces, the young core and the guys like that without really seeing what they can do? You know, that's where I think you would make a huge mistake. You trade too early, you bite on it too early, then all of a sudden you end up with Devin Booker with a huge contract and he's unable to even play. And now you're screwed for the next 10 years because you're paying him so much money along with a few other guys. So that's the situation you don't really want to run into. And that's the main reason I say, you know, Pistons got to just sit on ice. For this offseason, there are some trade ideas and some people I think they could possibly grab in terms of, you know, making the offseason a win and picking up to help out in the offseason. But I can tell you right now, Devin Booker, Zion Williamson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, those guys are not it. Don't trade away all your assets for a guy who's just not going to bring that much value in return. Yeah, they might get to the playoffs and get to the same spot, honestly, but it's just not worth giving away all of your young talent you haven't really seen how they can develop. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then another thing, too, you know, I kind of want to explain because, you know, people, I'm hearing the ideas of go get this guy, go get that guy. And the Pistons aren't in need of a superstar. They aren't in desperate need of a superstar. I'll put it that way. Like, yeah, I know, obviously, it can help the team out if they grab somebody, if they pick up another star player, whatever. But they're not in desperate need where they just have to break the bank to bring in a big name superstar like everybody keep trying to propose in these trade ideas. It's insane. I mean, they literally got to the first round, took the Knicks, who's a great team, a well-balanced team, a talented team, to 6 games, and they almost took them to 7 games had Jalen Brunson not made a buzzer beater. So it's like, it's not a situation where they're just bad and they like, oh, they'll never get over the hump if they don't bring in a new guy. Well, they had injuries and they still had a pretty successful season. So it's like, there's no desperate need to make a move out of desperation right now. It's silly for the Pistons to even do that and to consider some of these because the young talent, I keep mentioning the young guys on the Pistons right now. Duren, he's under 25. Thompson is under 25. Ivy is under 25. Stewart, under 25. Like, you got a lot of guys on this team who haven't even reached near a peak in terms of seeing what they can do in this league. So, you know, it's, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The veterans who are here, you need those guys. They proved that their worth all last season. I know Beasley was kind of bad in the playoffs, but he still had, you know, a great season all along. Pretty much led the league in 3-pointers the whole year and almost finished on top if it wasn't for Anthony Edwards. But, you know, I mean, Toby, he played great. Tobias Harris, he really showed his behind in the playoffs and showed what he could do. So, you know, the vets have to stay as well. And, you know, the Zion always injured. Devin Booker, I don't want to break the bank on a guy because you don't have the stability. But the guys I think we should target for the Pistons, you don't want to get rid of the young talent for some guys who are going to break the bank on you. But the talent that I think we should at least go for if the Pistons decide not to sit on ice, I think they're good if they do. If the Pistons don't make any moves, I think they'll still get back to the playoffs and have a solid season. But the people we should target is Kuminga and Cam Johnson. I'm cool with those two guys and those two names, paying those guys coming out of pocket. Kuminga, I don't want him to have a huge price tag, which he might because he's been solid with the Warriors over the past few seasons. But if Kuminga doesn't have a huge price tag, then the Pistons should for sure go for him and try and bring him there, because that's another wing player who can play the low post and also could play the four and help spread the floor and guard a lot of guys too. So Kuminga is, we know what kind of player he is, very dynamic, can shoot, expanded his game a lot in the past 4 years. So I would love to see Kuminga in Detroit with Cade Cunningham and Ivy and all the other young talent that's over there. However, if he's asking for a huge ticket, then we just got to let him go. We got to let him go. Another player will come along, and it's nothing to make a huge deal about. Cam Johnson is another guy. He's in a tough situation right now in Brooklyn. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting where Cam Johnson is, because his talent is literally going to waste. This guy's a pure shooter. He's a good shooter. And I think Detroit could really use another great shooter like Cam Johnson, especially if they don't bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. So I would love to see Cam Johnson in a Detroit Pistons uniform. But the one thing, and I stand on this, man, and I will stand on it until all of next season and forever, the Pistons do not need another big name star right now. They're not in desperate need of a big name star to trade all of their young assets, to trade all of their draft assets and get a big name star. It has not worked out for any team who's done that in the past 3 years. You look at the Phoenix Suns, who did that same thing. They look stupid. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. They profited from this type of deal because the Clippers gave away all their assets. You look at so many teams in the league right now who did that same thing of giving away all their assets just to try and win next year or the year after that for a big name superstar, and it's gotten them nowhere. So why the hell would any Pistons fan out here want them to trade all the young talent, the Asar, the Ron Holland, Ivy, picks, draft picks for a Devin Booker or a Zion Williamson or a Giannis? Like, Giannis is maybe a different discussion. I ain't gonna lie to you, but still, like, you get my point of what I'm saying. Like, it's just not worth it of trading all of your assets for the future to bring in one guy who may not even make that much of a difference to take you to the playoffs. They already got their star player in Cade Cunningham. So they don't really need to, make a desperate move to bring somebody who's only going to get them to the second round and lose. Like, build for the next few years. It takes time, but I think they're on the right pace of everything. So I'm definitely content with it.